It's Wednesday, August the 26th, and welcome to the reading of the Record Courier. My name is Pam, and we're going to be today with the area deaths. Earl H. Harris II, age 64, of Ravenna, passed away Saturday, August 22nd, at University Hospital's Portage Medical Center. Friends and family will be received Saturday, August 29th, from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Wood Courtright Borkowski Funeral Home, 703 East Main Street, in Ravenna. Joey Dean Meadows, 58, of Lake Milton, Ohio, passed away on August 23rd. Friends will be received at the Wood Courtright Borkowski Funeral Home in Ravenna on Friday, August 28th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Funeral services will be held at 11 a.m. on Saturday, August 29th, at West Cemetery in Palmyra. Marilyn J. Weber, age 84, of Rootstown, died on August 24th at UH Portage Medical Center. Funeral services will be held 10 a.m. Saturday, August 29th, at the First Congregational Church of Ravenna. Well, that concludes the Wednesday area death notices, so let's move on to our first article. Portage County Randolph Junior Fair opens to reduced capacity, by Eileen McClory. The Portage County Randolph Fair is still happening this year, even though it's not open to the public and the only people allowed inside are junior fair participants and their family members. Even though the fair looks very different from what it usually does, there are no rides and a few food vendors, but most of the fairgrounds are deserted. Signs from the Portage County Health District are posted around reminding participants to stay away from each other, wear masks, and sanitize hands. After all, there is still a pandemic happening. Tracy Kozlaka, the fair board president, said the event was difficult to pull together this year since plans had to be scrapped and new factors around social distancing came into play. It was definitely a difficult task for all. We really had to put together as a board and put a new plan in place, she said. In July, Governor Mike DeWine ordered that only junior fairs would be allowed to proceed. Grandstand events, rides, and other attractions could not move forward. DeWine took the action after outbreak of COVID-19 were linked to the Pickaway County Fair in June. The Ohio State Fair, originally scheduled for July 29th to August 9th, was canceled in late May due to the pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic also meant that the fairgrounds couldn't be rented out for other events, which generated revenue for the nonprofit Fair Board. Kozlaka added that the Fair Board lost money this year, though it did get about $50,000 from the state to help cover the cost of a junior fair. She estimated the cost of the fair in total would be around $60,000, so the Fair Board will spend some of its own money to cover the rest. Kozlaka said the Fair Board had already voted to hold a junior fair with its own money before the state offered the $50,000, so they were able to recover the remaining costs. Kozlaka said it was important for the junior fair members to be able to show their animals and projects. Many people have also had a hard time getting animals to processors, she said, so the fair can help with that connection. It won't be the same fair experience, but it's going to be a historic one, she said of the junior fair participants. But, she said, she hopes the fair will be able to go forward as planned next year. Bianca Mason, 15, and her brother Brenton Mason, 13, were waiting for Bianca to show her chicken, a porcelain de Usla, on Tuesday morning. Bianca said this was her first year in a 4-H and she expected it to go differently. It's really weird, she said, saying there were more people to socialize with last year. This year she's been warned to stay away from other participants because of the pandemic, and she has to wear a mask while she's at the fairground. Their mother, Gwen Mason, said the experience wasn't the same as camping with friends for several days, but it seemed like her kids were making the best of a bad situation. At least I can still eat, Brenton Mason joked of the food trucks parked outside. Cheyenne Landels, 13, was waiting to show her rabbit, Frozen. Landel said there were some things she liked about the fair this year, as this was her second year showing rabbits at the show. It's less crowded this year, but faster, she said. You can't have family with you to watch, but there is more room, Landel said. Our next article. One person injured in Streetsboro crash. A car involved in the Streetsboro three-car crash on Route 43 on Monday. One person was taken to the hospital on Monday after a three-car crash on Route 43 in Streetsboro. Lieutenant Patricia Wayne of the Streetsboro Police Department said 22-year-old Daniela Munoz Perales was driving a black 2020 Buick Encore northbound in the 8300 block of Route 43 at about 12:41 p.m. when she rear-ended a gold 2007 Chevrolet Cobalt that was stopped in traffic, driven by a 21-year-old Springboro man. The Cobalt also had a 22-year-old Springboro man as a passenger. The crash forced the Cobalt forward into the southbound lane, into the path of a southbound black 2019 Cadillac CT6 driven by a 75-year-old Kent man. All three vehicles were towed from the scene due to disabling damages. The driver of the Cadillac, who was not identified in an initial press release, was transported to University Hospital Portage Medical Center with minor injuries. The driver of the Buick had a minor burn from the airbag. Munoz Perales was cited for failure to maintain an assured clear distance ahead, a minor misdemeanor. Up next, Chalk Art Fest returns to Ravenna by Diane Smith. Holly Reynolds, 11, and her mother Lisa Reynolds of Edinburgh work on a piece together at Chalk Fest in downtown Ravenna. The Chalk Art Fest will return to downtown Ravenna from noon to 3 p.m. September 12th. Professional and amateur artists will be encouraged to create a masterpiece with chalk, all while social distancing. The outdoor event is open to families in and around Ravenna. The event is sponsored by Ravenna Parks and Recreation and Performance Elastomers and will offer cash prizes in both the adult and child categories. Participants do not need to be a professional artist, just those who enjoy using chalk as a medium and want to show off their skills. If you are interested in participating as an artist, please visit our website at www.ravennaparksandrec.com or contact the Parks and Recreation Office at 330-296-2864. Ben Bindus, 9, of Ravenna adds stars to his balloon at Chalk Fest 2019. The event returns to downtown Ravenna on September 12th with artists encouraged to create their drawings while social distancing. Sponsors are being sought for this event. For $200, a business or an individual can sponsor a professional artist to ensure they have the supplies they need to create their work of art. The sponsor's business banner will be displayed throughout the event. A link to the business will be posted on social media, and additional marketing will be done by Ravenna Parks and Recreation. Deadline for sponsorships is August 30th. The rain date is September 13th at the same time. Well, our next article, Streetsboro hopes to provide 500 hotspots to students by Kristen Cano. Earlier this summer, Streetsboro purchased 811 Chromebooks to prepare for the upcoming school year and has recently applied for a $180,000 grant to provide hotspots to students in need. Streetsboro City School will soon find out if it can lease 50 or 500 hotspots for students in need. District Technology Director Andreas Johansson recently applied for the new Broadband Ohio Connectivity Grant, which will allocate $50 million of Ohio's CARE Act funding to help provide hotspots and internet-enabled devices to students who are economically disadvantaged, considered vulnerable by the Ohio Department of Education, have chronic conditions, or who otherwise do not have access to the internet. The grant initially included a 50% match contribution for schools to access the money, but Governor Mike DeWine and Lieutenant Governor John Husted agreed to waive the match requirements after the Appalachian Children's Coalition argued that the match would place a strain on under-resourced rural school districts. We listened. Many schools couldn't find the resources, so we've discontinued the matching requirement, Husted said in early August. Applications opened on August 10th, and by August 13th, Johansson had already applied for $180,000 to lease close to 500 hotspots. Districts could request up to $250,000. The state will review and process grants this week, and awardees will be notified the week of August 31st. I learned that a school district has to be real quick, so we all got on a call. I asked how many we thought we needed, and we overestimated. We know from other grant experiences that unless your foot's in the door, the money's already gone, he said. As of August 13th, Johansson was testing one of the devices the district is hoping to purchase and had quotes ready so that they could quickly obtain around 500 hotspots should they receive the grant. Regardless of the grant, I think we're going to order a few less than 50, just so we have them and there's no wait. I know there's going to be a device shortage, and I don't want us to be delayed with that. That happened with Chromebooks. We bought early from inventory, but a lot of districts are waiting until late September or early October for deliveries. I don't want that for Streetsboro, Johansson said. Connectivity was a concern for many when schools closed in March due to COVID-19. At the time, internet service providers offered at-home internet for free. The companies did not extend those free services to this school year, and so school districts have been looking for ways to provide internet to students in case students choose to learn remotely or in case circumstances necessitate at-home learning. Kent, for example, is leasing at least 200 hotspots this upcoming school year. Wyndham uses its CARES funding to install outdoor hotspots near the buildings so that students can access the school's Wi-Fi from the parking lots and outdoor areas, and also purchased hotspots to loan out to families. Like Streetsboro, Maplewood Career Center also applied for the connectivity grant and is asking for $7,998. Moving on. Back-to-school vaccination clinics offered by Health District. Susan Forgax, a nurse with the Portage County Combined Health District, administers a shot to Jace Malik of Kent as the boy is held by his father, Mac Yakubowski. The Portage County Combined General Health District will offer back-to-school shots clinics in August and September to help parents meet the immunization requirements for their children. There are many vaccines children need to enter into kindergarten, and 7th and 12th grades also have vaccines they are required to get before starting class. The following clinics are at the Health District office at 705 Oakwood Street on the second floor. And those dates are August 26th, 8 a.m. to noon and 3 to 6 p.m. August 27th, 3 to 6 p.m. September 2nd, 8 a.m. to noon and 3 to 6 p.m. September 3rd, 3 to 6 p.m. September 9th, 8 a.m. to noon and 3 to 6 p.m. On September 10th, 3 to 6 p.m. Parents must call 330-298-4490 to set an appointment. They should bring immunization records. Most insurance is accepted. The Kent Health Department offers a child immunization clinic every third Wednesday of the month from 3 to 5 p.m. at 414 East Main Street in Kent. The next date for the Kent Health Department is September 16th. Unvaccinated children are at increased risk for contracting vaccine-preventable diseases like measles, mumps, and pertussis. They also may spread these vaccine-preventable diseases, which can be serious or potentially life-threatening for high-risk individuals, such as infants who are too young to be fully vaccinated or individuals with weakened immune systems. Well, our next article, Twinsburg Township lands state grants for road project by Ken Lammers. Township Administrator Rob Kegler delivered some good news to trustees at their August 12th meeting. State funding is forthcoming for several road projects. He said the Ohio Public Works Commission recently okayed about $590,000 for Twinsburg Heights Phases 16 and 17, and $400,000 for work in Ridgetop Estates and the Reserve at Kensington. Phases 16 and 17 will involve the west and east blocks of K Street. The township will receive $290,413 for Phase 16. the estimated cost of which is $823,493. And they will receive $299,999 for Phase 17, the estimated cost of which is $936,383. The other projects are the northern half of Ridgetop Drive in Ridgetop Estates and St. Macaulay Court and Darien Lane north of the roundabout in the reserve at Kensington. Those projects are estimated to cost slightly more than $700,000. Kegler pointed out the proposed projects will depend on whether local funding is available for the remaining cost. Meanwhile, Kegler said work is continuing on Heights phases 14 and 15, which include the dead-end blocks of Rugby and Buchtel Streets. Trimore Corporation is doing the work at a cost of $1.2 million, all of which is township money. There was a delay with the phases 14 through 15 project because of a gas line, which was installed in the wrong place along Rugby Street and had to be relocated, Kegler explained. Design work for Heights phases 18 through 20 began in 2019 and is almost completed, with that project almost ready to submit for state funding. Those phases involve 3 blocks of Stanford Street and the southern portion of Harvard and Yale. Kegler said this year's concrete road work has been completed. Asphalt resurfacing projects are underway and road rejuvenation projects on several streets will start soon. In other business, trustees approved paying an additional $6,597 towards the purchase of a 2020 Ford F-350 4x4 truck. The initial truck purchase at $35,072 through the Community University Education Purchasing Association was okayed in July. Kegler reported the truck purchase and some Township Hall lobby renovations will be paid for from the township's share of CARES Act funds related to the coronavirus pandemic. The trustees okayed placing several special assessments on residents and/or businesses next property tax duplicates. Trustees adjusted the 2020 appropriations, which show a decrease of $41,288. They also approved paying 2020 obligations of $99,887 and then and now commitments of $1,889. Kegler reported the Zoning Commission heard an informal request from the majority owner of 100 acres in the Interchange mixed-use district to allow warehousing and distribution centers as a permitted use in the zoning code. He noted a conceptual development plan also was presented for that 40 acres in the township and 60 acres in the city bounded by Hayden Road, I-480, Route 91, and the Crown Hill Cemetery. A formal application will be on future agendas. Kegler said officials will look at what additional types of notices can be sent to residents via the Instant Connect notification system. He encouraged all residents to sign up to receive the notices. Kegler said Township Hall remains closed to the public and residents cannot attend trustees' meetings, but can view them via live stream on the township's website. He added the next branch pickup will start the week of September 14th. Upcoming township meetings are as follows. September 1st, Water District Trustees at 6 p.m. and Joint Economic Development District Board at 7 p.m. September 9th, Trustees at 6:30 p.m. Township offices will be closed September 7th for Labor Day. Moving on. Along the Way, Italian American Society's Building Heading for Auction by David E. Dix. On September 16th, it will be Ciao and Grazie for a half-century Ravenna landmark, the building at the corner of South Chestnut Street and Hazen Avenue that has been home for the Italian American Society, which is going up for auction. In an era in which younger Americans are no longer the joiners their parents and grandparents once were, the Italian American Society's dwindling membership makes maintaining and operating the building no longer feasible. 2 of its leaders, attorney Stephen Colecci and businessman Charles Garrow said when telling of the building's impending sale. Both said the Italian American Society's members have voted to sell. The proceeds from any sale will be used for a not-for-profit purpose because the Italian American Society is a not-for-profit organization. I am in the Elks and they are having the same problems, Garrow, the owner of Garrow Tires, said. Kolecki, who for years was president and CEO of Robinson Memorial Hospital and now serves as CEO of Hattie Lorem, said the Italian American Society will survive with a smaller membership, but we just do not have the regular membership necessary to support a building like that. Service clubs across America are facing dwindling membership numbers. For example, the Kent Kiwanis Club once had a formidable presence in Kent, but it no longer exists. Its remaining Kiwanians must join clubs like Ravenna's or clubs in other neighboring communities for their membership to continue. Both Garrow and Kolecki characterized the decision to sell as a business decision. That is painful for one of them because generations of their family played prominent roles in the Italian American Society and its predecessors, the Christopher Columbus Society and the Portage Italian American Citizens League. Kolecki, the current secretary and treasurer of the Italian American Society, said his grandfather Joseph, his father Paul, and his uncle Vincent were all presidents of the Christopher Columbus Society and the Italian American Society at one time or another. He said he worked as a manager of the facility's bar and rental hall to earn money to pay his tuition at Kent State University and the University of Akron's School of Law. Garrow, who serves on the Society's board of directors, said his father, Chet Garrow, was also once president of the Italian American Society. The Christopher Columbus Society and the Portage Italian American Citizens Leagues merged in 1967 and within a couple of years purchased the property that had been the location of the Roger Brown Lumber Company to construct the building that will soon go up for auction. The Italian American Society building at the corner of South Chestnut Street and Hazen Avenue. In its heyday, Garrow said, the Italian American Society's membership roster had a waiting list of those eager to join. The rental hall hosted fine wedding receptions. Its monthly spaghetti dinners, open to non-members as well as members, were a place to go to meet friends and prominent citizens. Its bar was a congenial watering hole for members. For most of its years, the Italian American Society's rental hall was the place where the Portage County Democratic Party congregated on election nights. It made the Italian American Societies a must-visit for any news media reporter wanting to meet candidates and elect officials and listen to their interpretations of the Portage County election results. The premise still have well-designed bocce courts with surfaces similar to what a person would find on a good tennis court. The Society's Bocce League at one point had 20 competing teams and even last year had as many as 14 teams competing. Looking through the records, Kolecki said he learned that the Christopher Columbus Society, founded in 1917, required each member to pay a monthly fee to a health insurance fund that was then used to pay medical bills that were incurred by members. This was before employers paid health insurance, when medical bills could place a heavy financial burden on most families. In the early days, were, he said, decidedly blue collar, working at places like A.C. Williams, Oak Rubber, the Cleveland Worsted Mills, Romito Donnelly, and other industries. At the same time, Kolecki said many members owned their own businesses like Solitro's Dry Cleaning, Drago's Plumbing, Garrow Rubber Portage Distributing, and other companies. He said the membership lists are a who's who of Italian-American families who have resided in Ravenna. Names like Trocchio, Kolecki, LaRusi, Romito, Solitro, Drago, Spagnuolo, Sicuro, Semino, Petrella, DiMauro, Coriglio, Samaco, Marozzi, Castaldi, Coya, Garo, Cipriano, Moroni, Labagetta, Verona, Petrone, Trilli, Cristino, Diamicone, Porcasi, Coates, Rude, Gilli, Esposito, Tondeglia, Tantamonia, Saraco, Di Cola, Mendiola, Triscori, Giulietto, Mascio, Di Girolamo, and many more. And my apologies for slaughtering every single name. Kiko Real Estate and Auction is handling the sale. The building will be auctioned at 5:30 p.m. September 16th. The auction will be in person and online. The personal property will be auctioned online only from noon September 10th to noon September 17th. The Italian American Society will live on, Kalecki said, and we intend to put the proceeds to good use. Current officers of the Italian American Society are Dave Rude, President, Stephen Kalecki, Secretary Treasurer, with 3 trustees, Mark Petrella, Mickey Morosi, and Charles Garrow. Portage County Crime Reports by Eileen McCrory. These crime reports are a sampling of incidences responded to by local law enforcement agencies, and they're not intended to be all-inclusive. In Hiram, Daniel Strickland, 34, of 2434 Goodenough Avenue in Akron, was charged with having weapons under disability, a third-degree felony, and improperly handling firearms in a motor vehicle, a fourth-degree felony, after allegedly having a handgun on August 21st. Court records indicate he was convicted with a felony offense of domestic violence previously. He was placed in jail in lieu of bond. In Kent, Robert Voyers, Jr., 22, of 4514 Beta Avenue, Newburgh Heights, was charged with improper handling of a firearm in a motor vehicle, a fourth-degree felony, and possession of marijuana, a minor misdemeanor, after an incident on South Water Street and Oak Street on August 21st. He has pleaded not guilty and was placed in jail in lieu of a 10% of a $5,000 bond. In Nelson Township, Dylan Clark, 29, of 523 Stanford Avenue in Elyria, was charged with possession of drugs, specifically LSD, after an incident on June 6th on Route 282. A hearing was scheduled. In Ravenna, Alan Ribar, 36, of 3920 Lovers Lane in Ravenna, was charged with harassment by an inmate, a third-degree felony, and possession of drug abuse instruments, a third-degree misdemeanor. After an incident on Saturday on North Chestnut Street, he was placed in jail in lieu of a 10% of a $25,000 bond. A 35-year-old Ravenna man was charged with domestic violence, a first-degree misdemeanor, after an incident on Sunday. He has pleaded not guilty, and a temporary protection order was issued. He was released on a recognizance bond. In Ravenna Township, a 45-year-old Newcastle, Pennsylvania woman was charged with theft, a first-degree misdemeanor, after allegedly stealing items from Walmart on August 17th. The woman told police she was homeless and hungry. A hearing was scheduled. A 31-year-old Ravenna Township man was charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, a first-degree misdemeanor, after an incident on August 20th. He allegedly took a black Ford Escape from a Newton Falls Road residence. A hearing was scheduled. In Rootstown, Mason Belcher, 18, of 3727 Cook Road, Rootstown, was charged with possession of drugs, specifically methamphetamine, a fifth-degree felony, after an incident on Friday at Talmadge Road. He was released on a $5,000 personal recognizance bond. A 53-year-old Rootstown man was charged with violating a protection order, a first-degree misdemeanor, after an incident on Pheasant Drive on Saturday. A hearing was scheduled. Shalersville, a 53-year-old Lyndhurst woman was charged with domestic violence, a first-degree misdemeanor, after an incident on Saturday on Route 303. She was released from jail on a 10% of a $5,000 bond. A temporary protection order was issued, and she has pleaded not guilty. Well, friends, that concludes the reading of the Record Courier for Wednesday, August 26th. My name is Pam. Please stay safe, be blessed, make it a great day.